We're live. It's a 2-in-1 special today. We're doing a match review and player ratings. Burnley 0, Arsenal 1. It's point blank. Yes, and today I have two guests. The returning duo of Gunner King, fresh from Sicily. How are we doing, sir?
All good. Yeah, it's good to be back. And good to be back to have something positive to talk about, which makes a pleasant change.
Definitely. You haven't stayed away from TikTok, so we know how much fun you have been having. Gumza, getting better, sir?
Yeah, I'm literally there. I'm 95% now. I'm at Thomas Partey. I can give you 60 strong minutes, and then I need to come off for a rest. But yeah, I'm feeling better. How are you keeping? You're right.
Yeah, no, same. You know, shooting along. But you know, the Arsenal are making us feel a little bit better. So let's go straight into the review. Gumza, give us your thoughts on the game.
Quite impressed actually. The scoreline doesn't reflect, I think, how we played. I think we played definitely better than a 1-0. Defensively, defended well. Gabriel makes a big difference, don't he? He was solid. Tomiyasu was good as well. Ramsdale, special mention, I think was very good. So from that was quite nice. We played out from the back really well, I thought. We definitely looked like we had more options at the back, like playing out. We didn't look under any real pressure. Even though Burnley did play quite high up, we seemed to get out quite a lot. There was a lot more forward passes, which was quite nice. And my only concern would be, I'm not going to call out any of the front three, but I think as a collective, they didn't click. We got into some good positions quite a lot, and it was just the final ball was just either behind the player or too soft or the wrong choice. So for me, it was a positive because actually we don't get that position very often. And Saturday, I saw us get into that kind of final third about 10, 12 to 15 times, and we just didn't execute. But that's a positive for me because actually previous games we wasn't getting even that height of the pitch. So a lot of positives to take from the Burnley result, I think, personally. That's for me. But yeah, so I'm happy in the direction we're heading at the moment. I know it's only Burnley, but you can only beat what's in front of you. So yeah, it's definitely lots of positives.
Absolutely. Gunner King.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a bit of a game of two halves. I think the first half we were dominant in possession, dominant in territory. Most of the ball spent time in the final third. I agree with Gumza that the slight concern would be the cutting edge, kind of taking the chances. I think we could have killed the game in the first 45 minutes. And I think against better opposition, we 100% have to. But as I said in the summer, and reflecting on last season, I didn't think we were creating enough chances. Whereas now I think the problem is different. We're creating the chances but not converting them. So the next stage of progression that I see is being more ruthless in front of goal. But look, Odegaard took his chance. Great free kick. And one thing I've asked of him is to get on the score sheet a bit more because he's capable, and he showed that with a great free kick. And one thing I want to say is I've been drumming this message home on all of my platforms because we took enough smoke. Yeah, we wanted a Madison. Yeah, we wanted Martinez. We wanted a big name signing, but that I think what people, especially our rivals, got lost in the sauce with a bit is that regardless, these are good players. The ones that we signed. We saw a new signing in Odegaard get on the score sheet. Tomiyasu, I just want to run through some figures quickly. The guy won 100% of his aerial duels.
Let me just hold you there, King. Yeah, let me just get that up for you. There we go.
Yeah. 100% of his aerial duels, 100% duels won, 79 touches, more than anyone on the pitch. He was involved in most of the duels, all of which he won, obviously. 5 ball recoveries. Look at the clearances, aerial duels, 1 interception and 1 tackle. And I just want to take one thing that Gums has said about this only being Burnley. Burnley are a team that are physical, that are dominant in the air. Most of their chance creation involves taking advantage of the ability that the likes of Wood and Ashley Barnes have in the air, and the ability that Dwight McNeil and this new Cornet, who looked very good, box as well. So to go up against a team specifically whose strength is physicality and winning balls in the air, and for this guy to just say, "Who the fuck are you?" Yeah, which he did in the way that he did. It's only his second game. I'm just laughing at all these rivals, that were just like, you signed some bums. We just acting as if we went on the street and literally just picked randoms and said, "Do you want to play for Arsenal Football Club?" And I'm going to keep drumming that message home, because I thought White, okay, he left Ramsdale a bit short with the back pass. Ramsdale recovered, another new signing who again looked very commanding in goal. His distribution in the first half was actually starting. You could see it was setting up chances. We were building up play from our goalkeeper, progressing it into midfield. I was watching him pass the ball along the ground in between midfielders, like threading the eye of the needle as if he was an attacking midfielder, to get the ball into Partey's feet, to get it into Smith Rowe or Odegaard's feet, and then attacks building up from there, So it's quite funny, just seeing all these guys that everyone said we wasted 150 million on that wouldn't improve our first team 11, actually improving our first team 11, if you see what I mean, because they clearly have. So it's just how we build on that impact that they're having. And I think special props has to go to the back 5. You're talking about Tomiyasu going in there. He's a new signing. Ben White, he's a new signing. Gabriel White was only signed last season, and isn't an English guy. Ramsdale is a new keeper. So I think we defensively in the second half held on, and considering half of these guys have barely played together, you can only be encouraged by that display.
Yeah, I do like to look at this back 4. If I'm not including the goalkeeper, it's the fact that you got a right back there in Tomiyasu who offers a lot of protection for Ben White, and Gabriel on the other side of him, both very good in the air, and that was obviously shown throughout the game. We can pick up a Gabriel as well. Look at his numbers for the game. You can't fault him.
Oh, he was brilliant. I said I didn't criticize him a bit last year. Not criticism, but I think after he had COVID, his standard did drop. Because again, we all remember when he first come in last season, he was player of the month 3 months in a row, I think it was. And then he did slow down a bit when COVID hit. But I always, as much as I said he didn't have a great end to the season, he was still always my number 1 centre back going into this year. And again, he hasn't had a proper pre-season. Do you know what I mean? He's come in and just hit the ground running 2 games in a row, and he just looks commanding, doesn't he? He's
the thing so is aggressive. With him and Ben White, as Gums has said, he's the aggressive guy. He's the front foot defender. He's the guy that's winning the balls in the air or going to meet the attackers. And what Ben White lacks in aerial ability, perhaps, he's definitely got good recovery pace. He's good at intercepting and getting his foot in with tackles as well. That dynamic seems to work quite well. Tomiyasu can even come in as a centre-back where, his defensive abilities are pretty evident as well. So it's just a bit of a better balance. I think with what Gumza mentioned about Gabriel tailing off after he had COVID, I think coming back from COVID was one thing. It was his first season. He's still integrating into the squad. But I think not having that partner that can complement what he brings, because I think he's a lot better on the ground, Ben White, as a defender maybe than Gabriel is in certain situations. Particularly when people are trying to get in behind. I think he's a bit quicker on the turn. But yeah, like coming forward to meet attackers and meet the ball and be aggressive and win it. That's Gabriel's bread and butter. So yeah, I think that is pretty encouraging. 2 clean sheets for White now. He's the games he's been involved in, we've only conceded 2 goals. So yeah, like, you know, I think what concerns I share with Gumza about our front three and clicking and getting on the score sheet more, killing this team off like we should have in the first half, that we got to improve, but at least the base of the team is looking stronger.
Yeah.
And look, if people can't score against us, they can't win games, right?
Exactly. Before we go into talk about the starting 11 and the match statistics, there's a few comments here. Solo, United Agenda, big up yourself. Liked what you guys got up to yesterday, you and Amondi, outside the London Stadium. That was great stuff. Amondi, good afternoon, Tony Gums and Chris. Another good win leading to the big North London derby, indeed.
Bring on the trophy, Dodgers.
Yeah, good win for you guys. It was 3 points. Can you guys discuss the new right back? I'm hearing good thing. Well, we've just obviously spoken about Albenberg. He's picked it up there, and yeah, I mean we can go on and on about this guy. But hey, we need to calm down a little bit because it's only been a game and a half he's played. But from what we've seen is very, very encouraging stuff. Also, we just go back to Tomiyasu just quickly. I noticed a difference in his heat map in comparison to Norwich. I know he played half the game against Norwich, but he's starting to move forward a little bit. Gumza.
Yeah. I said hopefully I'll be on tonight doing my breakdown. And he is part of what I'm going to be looking at. And I feel it just offers a bit of balance. He did creep forward a bit more in this game potentially. However, I think he offsets Tierney quite well. So yeah, I watched the game again, and what was evident as well, he sat a bit deeper, but Tierney occupied really high left, and Saka dropped in a bit. So Odegaard dropped a bit closer to the centre backs. It was really quite strange to watch. But actually, Tomiyasu switched the ball out to Tierney about 3 or 4 times in that game. A real big switch. So it's just those little things sometimes which just open up space and get you out. He looks very comfortable on the ball as well. So that heat map doesn't surprise me, because a lot of the times we'd go to our right centre back, it would go to the right back in that same position in our half, and we lost it a lot there. I think teams used to love pressing us in that area where he looked so comfortable. You go into the midfield or drop back or go to Pepe. So you could just see the difference. It doesn't surprise me he had the most touches, because I think teams used to target us and set up for us to play for our right back. And that's when they used to swarm us and press us. So it does actually surprise me he had the most touches, because they were obviously letting us go to that right back position, but he was comfortable enough to play through it, and we didn't look under any real pressure. So again, it is very early in his career. But one thing that's quite significant is playing against the Burnley team, and you've got a back five made up of a 23-year-old goalkeeper, a 23-year-old centre-back, a 23-year-old centre-back, a 22-year-old right-back, and a 24-year-old left-back. That is very, very young to be playing that physical team with that know-how. Like they're seasoned pros, Burnley, at doing that, playing that style, aren't they? So to think the back four is that young and your keeper's 23 and you held your own, if we can keep that together for the next 2-3 years, when them boys hit 26, 27 together, they should be a very, very, very solid back four and well drilled and had years of experience playing at a high level. So I'm not saying believe in what the process is, but actually that as a starting point is not bad to build upon. For if it's Arteta or the next manager, that's quite a strong core. And then if Saliba does say it's their Arsenal, you've got another 21-year-old next year coming in to be back up towards that. So his squad's looking quite healthy. I'll be honest, it's looking a lot better. So I know I just rambled on there, but
no. I tell you what, I'm going to stop you there because, like you said, you're going to be mentioning it on the breakdown.
Yeah,
this is what we do here on Point Break. We'll give you a little sneak.
I wanted to say one thing about that as well. Yeah, like I just find fullbacks. Fullbacks are the most criminally misjudged players on the pitch. I find. Yeah, you know, I would say Trent Alexander-Arnold is the best right back in the world, or Hakimi, and then United fans or certain fans with whatever agenda would say, but he can't defend. Now, Alves wasn't the best defensively. Cafu was probably quite well rounded, but again was better going forward. Marcelo, Roberto Carlos, all the same thing, right? The thing is, it's so difficult to be able to both defend and attack. You're always going to be invariably balanced a bit more towards doing one thing. And I think with Tomiyasu, what you're seeing is a good defensive. I think that's where he's more grounded because you can see more of a natural centre back who's playing as a right back. So defensively, he's looking solid. He is good on the ball. He can get forward. As Gumza mentioned, there are a number of switch play passes where Tierney bombs forward a bit more. And sometimes you can have that asymmetric kind of balance where there is one that is camping a bit higher up the pitch and the other sitting a bit deeper. And that's just fine. Not everyone's going to have like a Robertson and a Trent on both sides, but that doesn't mean that, that they're not offering an attacking threat. It's just a different way of going about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And that, as Gums said, he'll be covering all that later. So, just make sure you tune into that. A couple more comments before we do move on. Ian Shaw, Mr. FTB, keep the faith. Arteta will come good once the new players blend and the best starting 11 emerges. I do hope so. But it's encouraging what we're seeing right now, even if they are 1-0 wins. I did think you might be steamrolled by Burnley. They are all big units, but credit to the characters shown to see out the game and get the 3 points. And I absolutely agree with that. King, you touched on, or was it King? I don't know. One of you touched on the fact that these are big guys and they're Premier League proven players and can hurt you at any given moment. So, I completely agree with that. Just a quick word on the starting 11. What did we think when it first come out? Gunner King?
I'll be honest. I wanted to see Lokonga play. I did think that the physical kind of presence that is it Browning, their central midfielder.
Brownhill,
Brownhill. Sorry, they're pretty physical in the middle of the park. So I was a bit concerned that Partey might get left a little exposed, but we've spoken about this, where Odegaard and Smith Rowe can operate as advance eights, which they were in this system. I think in the first half you saw it really work with how we dominated possession. I think in the second half it lost steam a bit, and that overrunning that I described did start to happen in the middle of the park. But that was the only flaw that I saw in that starting 11. But I commend him in wanting to play on the front foot and actually attack a team that we should be beating. So it's kind of offset with that, where it's like, look, no disrespect to Burnley, but it is Burnley. So why don't we try and get players in that centre of midfield that want to get on the ball, that want to pick it up, that can drive forward with the ball, that can break lines with passes with the ball, that are inventive, that have got guile, that can give service to Aubameyang, and which is what he needs. So it was a bit of a balance there, but that was the only, I wouldn't say drawback, but that was the only thing that made me pause for thought a bit, because I literally looked at the starting lineup when I got off the plane. My brother's a massive Arsenal fan, as Gumza knows as well, because I made him that. So we were both there just staring at it, watching the game in the car as he drove back from Luton Airport. And that was the only thing that I picked out about how he set up his first 11. I wouldn't expect him to do the same thing against Tottenham, with what they've got going on in central midfield. I'd expect Lokonga to come back in, and when Lokonga came on, he did fairly well as well, and Maitland-Niles as well, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, done what they had to do. Yeah. I agree with that. I was a little bit, but I was encouraged by the fact that it looked like he wanted to go attacking, and that's something we've been crying out for. It wasn't very attacking, really, but that was the idea, and I liked it. Match stats, I don't know if you can see them, they're actually quite small. It says that Burnley had more of the shots, 18 free on target, and we had 13, they had 3 on target. So it suggests that it was quite a close encounter, which, Burnley had they had some large spells of the game. They had a few shots as well. Ramsdale pulled out some great saves, especially the one from Cornet. That stands out for me. So, yeah, I mean, they've had more of the corners. We had more, but we had more of the ball. We had more passes. The accurate passes 80% to their 74. Anything that catches your eye on those stats there, Gumza?
Just in regards to the first one with the shots, again, there's a difference for me, shooting and having a chance. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of Burnley's shots were long range. I've never felt at any real moment nervous apart from the Ben White back pass. I think Cornet had one, but it's still edge of the box, wasn't it, his shot? So, yeah, it reads different than how it was viewed. I think when I'm watching it, it didn't really open us up. And again, we had less shots, but that was down to we're trying to play. The last pass wasn't coming off. Do you know what I mean? It was them fine margins, whereas maybe they were getting their shots off a bit better, but we was trying to find that last pass. And again, I think we definitely got into more threatening positions than they did, like having overloads on areas, but we just didn't execute. So, the stats, again, they tell a picture, but not the full picture. And just touching on, can I touch on what KM Boxer said? About
I
want to put the comment up.
There you go.
Yeah, so do we need to be concerned? Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Laka. And I feel he's been, nothing is due to him. I think it's just been the injuries and managing some players is why he hasn't got minutes. Because again, if you look at our subs weekend, Smith Rowe, Partey and Tierney and Partey seem like they can't complete 90 at the moment. So I think Martinelli and Laka actually having to suffer because them two are normally playing 60 to 75. Last week, Tomiyasu played 60, so straight away, you don't normally see a back four getting changed during a match, but I think he's just managing these guys before they break down. So at the moment, Laka's obviously just got to be patient. However, I feel he's got a good character about him. So when he does get his opportunity, I don't think he will down tools like the guy down the road from us. He wears white and you know who I mean, Mr. Harry Kane. He seems like he's down tools a bit, whereas I don't think Laka's that character. I think he knows he's probably got one more year left, and for him actually he needs to perform because now he's looking for a big contract for his last contract, isn't he? So when he gets his opportunity, I do think he will come in and deliver for us. So yeah, I'm not concerned about Laka at the moment. I think it's just kind of circumstances he's not getting the minutes, but once Partey can complete 90, Tierney can get through 90, I feel you'll see more of Lacazette because it'll be more attacking changes rather than the defensive side of it.
I definitely think as well from what we've seen. Sorry. I definitely think from what we've seen. Yeah, from what we've seen, there's definitely a place for Laka in this team at the moment. I think, the link-up play and the ability to bring other midfielders in. I just think there's a bit more cohesion at times when he's playing up front. I think I look at the Sheffield United game last season, sort of the in and around the box, neat touches. I think it was him, Saka, Ceballos when he was there. Like that kind of goal kind of typifies what he can bring. And it's just something else that Aubameyang doesn't have. It's not about him being better than Aubameyang or Aubameyang being better. It's about in a system. And when you are looking to bring your creative outlets into the box and get those guys into goal scoring positions, but also get a guy that can pass and then move and get into the box, he just does that a bit better than Aubameyang. Aubameyang needs to be on the end of chances. Lacazette can be a lot more involved in building up chances and then getting on the end of them as well, but not quite finishing them to the quality of a prime Aubameyang. If that makes any sense. So it's going to be horses for courses throughout the season, even though we're only playing league games and domestic cup games. Like you're going to need different feathers, different bows. So I
Do you
still
think he'll
think
start on Wednesday?
Who are we playing on Wednesday?
Wimbledon. League Cup.
I personally don't think he will start. I would want to see Balogun start. I would want to see Balogun or Martinelli start. I would want to see these guys kind of given a chance against Wimbledon. Maybe Lacazette might start to lead a line of lesser experienced players in midfield. But look, I think some of these youth products, the under-23s absolutely smashed Chelsea yesterday, and they had 10 men on the pitch for most of the game. Like, some of these guys are knocking on the door, man. And I think Wimbledon's a good opportunity to give these guys chances, as opposed to Laka doesn't need a game against Wimbledon for confidence. He's got confidence. Do you know what I mean? Like, Balogun needs confidence. He needs to be shown that he's been given a chance and that he can contribute. We've given him a big contract to keep him as a youth player. So let's start. That's personally my thoughts in that game. I think either that or Laka starts and is told that he's given 60 minutes, and then Balogun comes on. No matter
we'll save that for the preview anyway. Let's go back onto the Burnley game. Thoughts when you saw this? What was going through your head?
I thought Aubameyang was having it.
Did you?
I did anyone but Partey. Even though he has had a good free kick with us before. He's hit a couple of alright free kicks. But I think where our players stood, I thought, okay, Abbott's going that side, so Abbott's going to go for it. But it surprised me Odegaard took it and finished it at plum, really.
Oh yeah, I mean it was something else. And I was watching Odegaard closely this week. I don't know if you watched last week when I was on with Canners and James, and I was a little bit harsh on Odegaard, I must say. And they were telling me you need to watch what he does off the ball, and so I was watching really carefully. And do you know what? If I bring this up, I mean it does tell the tale. I mean he's everywhere, and as King mentioned, he can play that 8. Look at his heat map there. He's all over the midfield. 74 touches, the pass accuracy 86.9, 2 key passes, 3 long balls, and look, even clearances, tackles, and blocks. He's doing it all.
Yeah.
King.
Listen, I hate to say I told people so, but I told people so. Man. What this guy, and what I have been saying all weekend, what I've been saying all since we signed him, is we are signing him, right, and we are judging him on not being Maddison too much. Yeah. Like we all wanted Maddison, like myself included, but that's not to say I've watched him play with Sociedad and Vitesse. Boss, absolutely boss. Like I've done a really good piece on my TikTok about it, looking at his percentiles. His long, his short, and his mid-range passing are literally in the top 80 and 90% percentiles of players in the world. He's one of the best chance creators for his age in the world. And to get him for 30 million is an absolute joke. Like, it's just, I'm laughing all the way to the bank, like we took advantage of Real Madrid's need to get people off the wage bill. And I'm just happy that he's proving his critics wrong, because it's one thing to have it from rivals, from within your own fan base. I'm having to just be like, this guy can perform at the highest level, literally, I love Smith Rowe and I love Saka, but hearing people say, these guys are better than him already, it's just a bit of a disrespect to the guy, man. Obviously they've got high ceilings, but they've got a long way to go. They're behind him in their development curve, and the sooner we wake up to that reality, the better. For this football club, he is going to have a very good season. He needs to get more goals, undoubtedly, and that was one thing he did.
I think the key is, again, I agree with you, Chris, totally, and how we judge players. And actually, what we need to do now is actually relax on Odegaard. Like you said about the goals, actually, I'm taking that out because he's been asked to play a lot deeper than he was last season for us. Yeah. So actually, we shouldn't even judge him on last year because he is playing a deeper role. So he might get less assists, he might get less goals, but he's doing a deeper role. And what it showed me on Saturday, and even pulling up those stats just now, the long balls, I think he had 60%, which is, for me, he's probably hit 2 out of 3 out of 4 or 5, but actually he's looking for a long ball, whereas we probably wasn't looking for them before. So actually, again, you might feel, oh, 66, but actually we're looking to try and find players higher up the pitch. So I'm happy with that. Also, his pass was doing that release Saka to get fouled. And that is the distinct difference of Granit Xhaka playing in that deeper role and Odegaard. Odegaard's going to look forward and pierce it. Whereas before, it would go left and right, and no one tried to get the killer ball or get us playing forward. Odegaard being deeper, got Saka in, and Saka had pressure on him and he span out and was off, and that caused the foul. So it's, everyone knows I was crying out for that deep line playmaker rather than a destroyer. And it's those reasons why I really wanted a player who can play football in them positions, because it makes such a difference when someone can pass the ball forward. And it was very similar to Kovacic's pass to Lukaku when we played Chelsea, when it opened up and he fizzed it into Lukaku. Then he followed the pass, then flipped it out to Reece James, and they scored from it. And Odegaard was looking for them passes into the forward kind of players. He was really putting balls through the press. So, yeah, I'm happy with him.
There'll also be games where he does play as a 10.
Yeah, and I think we play different opposition. I feel
inside as well.
Yeah, and I do feel it's nice to have 2 different ways of playing. So again, teams will be guessing when we come up to them on a Saturday whether we're going to play with 3 in midfield or 2 in 1. You never know until we turn up. So and we saw it in the game. We changed. We went from 4-3-3, and then when he took off some players, brought on Maitland-Niles and Sambi, you put them 2 together, and they shut up the shop, and them 2 came in, and it was nice to see the energy just nicking things in front of people, weren't they, non-stop? So, yeah, I'm not saying we're where we should be, but actually we can see we're taking forward steps at the moment. So, yes.
I mean, look, I just don't want to hear any more people saying we spent 150 million and didn't improve our first team 11 or our squad.
Hey, listen.
If you carry on saying that, people are literally not watching us play football. Like, if they say that, I wasn't addressing that at you.
No.
Keep them up.
The whole Odegaard thing, I'll put my hands up because obviously I was crying out for Maddison. I'm a big fan of Maddison, and I think that was always in my mind. And now I actually got the chance to listen. Now I've sat down and watched this game and gone, do you know what? These boys have got a point. And so I've opened my eyes now and I can see it. The goal helps as well. It was a quality free kick. There was one more player that impressed me as well. I think it's about 4 or 5 players that could probably be candidates for man of the match. But Thomas Partey, what a performance! 75 minutes on the pitch as well, and he racked up those numbers. Gumza, you applauded that. Talk to me.
Yeah, again, he's come under criticism from me, and I think it is rightly so. I've always said you can see there's definitely a player in there, and he's definitely our best midfielder when performing. But I think last year the injuries just took its toll, and he was getting a bit sloppy on the ball. But yeah, he was different yesterday. It just makes such a difference where you can see the players aren't panicking when they've got the ball. So it almost, you can see Burnley were hesitant to press after a little while because it didn't matter which one they pressed, they was just passing and we was getting out. So it just makes a difference. And he's a leader, and I'm not sure if he's the biggest shouting screamer, but on the pitch, his presence is known when he's there. And we've been crying out for this kind of player since Vieira left. Do you know what I mean? And Gilberto. So yeah, hopefully, I'm happy Arteta took him off and managing him, and hopefully he can actually get through the season. It does concern me if he does go again, what happens to our midfield. Yeah. But yeah, it's just brilliant watching him at the moment, man. It's definitely, I'm happy we got him last year when we did our.
Yeah. I mean, King. I mean, this is a guy that, for me, he's still not 100% fit, and he's stacking those numbers.
Listen, the disrespect I have to put up with, with this guy, man, like from these people talking nonsense, right? Yeah, like we get where we are at the moment, the amount of people that are making these TikTok videos, name world-class players in every big 6 club, and they're like, haha, Arsenal don't have any, and he's probably the closest we've got at the moment to someone that I would consider world-class in our team. For me, United fans were trying to tell me that he wouldn't walk into their midfield, and I had to absolutely laugh at them. I don't know what this Paxton Road lot were doing. Yeah, talking about Ndombele being in conversation as this brother. Yeah, the absolute disrespect. Yeah, this guy, right? This guy can win the ball. He can pick up the ball. He can drive with it. He can then sort of put midfielders on the back foot. Look at that. Every single dribbling, and it'll be interesting to see if how many of those were progressive dribbles, like whether they were forward or what. Yeah. But you would assume that a lot of them were. That he can pass the ball. As his accuracy there is showing with his passing. He's completing a lot of his passes as well, creating chances. With his key passing. He can thread the eye through the needle as well with. When he's passing the ball forward, he's just a complete midfielder. He's there. Of everything that a central midfielder would need to be able to do, whether it's tackling, winning the ball, dribbling, passing. He can do it. He's solid in the air. I think there were a lot of interceptions that he made even before needing to make tackles. I felt particularly in the second half where you could see his anticipations there as well. And I think, the only thing with him is just keeping him fit. That's all it is. The guy stays fit. He's one of the best central midfielders in the Premier League in that position. Don't at me in the rivals. Don't come at me and try and tell me otherwise. Yeah, because just watch the guy. Yeah, like those numbers don't put themselves up, man. Yeah, so that's all I'm saying, man. Like, just we get he's the last season that he was judged on. Yeah, was stop-start games where he's coming in. Just when you think he's fit, he's not again. So then he's got to come in and he's got to build that momentum and that headway up again. You can't judge a player on that in their first season in a new league that they've never played in. Yeah. But when he went to United, went to the Theatre of Dreams, we hadn't won there for quite a long time. He literally put Pogba and Bruno in his back pocket. He didn't do that by himself. There was games where he showed what he could do. All it's a case of doing now is keeping him off the sickbed and getting him on the pitch. I believe that he can do the rest from there.
Yeah,
provided he's kept fit.
100% agree.
Definitely. Before we do move on to the player ratings, we had something go for us in this game, and that's the penalty incident. What was going through your minds when you saw that initially?
Stressed. Stressed. I didn't think it would get overturned either.
But it did. It did. I was concerned with the back pass by Ben White, I must admit. But Ramsdale done exceptionally well to get to that ball. You do see them given, but at the end of the day, it was the right call. And Ramsdale made another big save. My main worry is if that was against I don't know, maybe a Ronaldo or someone like that, could be banging trouble. We just need to watch how we pass the ball back with Ben White, maybe, because a couple of times he's done that and bit shaky at times. But with the other guys around him, he has got the protection. Go on, King. What was you going to say?
If you watch the game, though, there were a lot of passes. I think Pepe was in on goal and he tried to slot to Aubameyang, and it was just a bit short. What Gumza was talking about earlier. The pitch seemed to slow the ball up a bit with some of the shorter passing along the ground.
Yeah.
And there's talk that they didn't really water the pitch. Teams are doing it against Arsenal a lot because they know that we want to fizz the ball along the ground a lot more. You could see, man, I'm not just saying this online. It's not an excuse, by all means, but there were a number of other passes that I can recall that I saw from some of the midfielders and the attacking players as well that did come up short. So I think Ben White would probably hold his hands up. He left Ramsdale a bit short there, but to see Ramsdale react in the way he did, does a Leno come off his line at all or that quickly? I don't know. Like, the one thing that I'm liking about the way Ramsdale is playing is we talk about the proactiveness of defenders and goalkeepers. These guys want to come and meet the ball. They want to come and, meet the danger head on and kind of come out. Obviously, you can have some situations where it's a bit too rash to do that, but the decision making of when to do that and being commanding and, without getting that foot in there, the guy's in and on goal, shooting into an open net. So, seeing if there is a moment where there is a mistake, another guy can come in and cover that. This is the benchmark of what great defenses are built on, because it's impossible for everyone to be at their A game every game, 90 minutes. There will be moments of lapses where you need cover from your other players. And, I think in that moment, that's what we saw. And what I loved, was just at the end of the game, just seeing them all fist pumping each other, slapping each other's chests, just being like, yeah, come on, because that's what the clean sheet meant to them as a defense.
Yeah.
That's what you always see with the best defenses, you see that, like that enjoyment, geeing each other up after they had made every block and clearance, like just that fire.
It was noticeable as well. I'm not sure if any of you lot noticed it, especially the last 10 minutes. The amount of times Gabriel was slapping Ramsdale on the back of his head to say well done was very noticeable. Like there was about 3 corners that came in and they put bodies around him and he come out and got hold of it, laid down on it. Another one came in from an angle and he's probably caught it on the penalty spot. Like he's gone over Gabriel and caught it, and you can see Gabriel's just hugging, like going back of his head saying well done again, because as a defender, there's nothing better than knowing all I've got to do is block you on the edge of the box, because I know my keeper's coming anywhere behind me, he's going to be there. So actually all I've got to focus on is stopping your run, and it's dealt with. So it's good signs. And so I'm not getting overly happy because it could all go wrong this weekend, but it's good stuff.
It's encouraging. Very encouraging.
We do need to be clear as well. Like, Gums has gone through the age of all of them, right? They're young. This is exceptionally young for a back five. I can't recall the last time any club, that is part of the Big Six has had that many players south of 26 even, let alone 23, which they all are. They're all south of that age. Mad. The reality is defensive players of that age, they're going to have mistakes in them. That Ben White moment, you're going to see that. What we shouldn't be doing is using these exceptions to benchmark as norms, and just realize that this is part of the journey that these guys are going to take. It's like what Gums has said. It's when they get to that 26 and 27 and they've all been together as a collective, they developed individually as players, but also collectively, cohesively as a unit they've developed. That's when we start reserving the judgment on the mistakes. That's the way it should work.
Definitely.
No, definitely. But just before we do move on to the player ratings, those of you that are watching live or they're watching later on, if you could just that's right, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Right, let's see how quickly you can get through this. Let's start with, of course, the goalkeeper. We did talk about him, Ramsdale. What score are we giving him? Gunner King, fire.
I'm going to give him a 7. I think, I think a 7 is fair enough. I mean, like, whilst he was commanding and, I think there was one save he had to make, which he took quite well. He didn't have a great deal to do, and I don't think it would reflect well to score him above that. I think there'll be sterner tests to come, but from what I'm seeing, I'm very encouraged. And yes, a 7, I think, is fair.
Excellent. Gumza?
I'll go 8. I agree with you. Didn't have to put off any remarkable saves. However, I'd much rather see him performing like that. And as a defense, we don't have to make them saves. Then, do you know what I mean? Him putting off worldies, but we're just conceding chances. I feel he gives the back four a bit of calmness. We just looked a lot more assured. No,
gives the fans calmness as well, doesn't
he? Yeah. And he seems like he's a bit more commanding, isn't he? And for me, it was just nice to see someone who's going to be big and brave and come to claim things and take some pressure off. So, yeah, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I was going to give him an 8 as well. mainly to the fact that he is commanding. I feel at ease when he's in there. The save from Cornet was a good save, but the one for me was the save from the Ben White back pass, because that was a save at the end of the day. So yeah, I score him an 8. Tomiyasu, Gums, I'll start with you on this one.
I'm gonna go 7. I think he was very good, but yeah, it's a bit harsh. But I think he was performing again. You go into Burnley away and keeping a clean sheet, you're doing something right. But I'll go a 7 just because, yeah, maybe going forward could have had a bit more from him. But yeah, I think it was definitely a tactical ploy that he stays a bit deeper and Tierney gets more freedom. But yeah, so I'll give a 7. Very happy with how he's performing at the moment.
More of that on the breakdown. Gunner King.
I'd actually go with an 8 with Tomiyasu, actually. I just think everything he was asked to do defensively, he did. Like all his duels, all his aerial duels, like clearances, tackles, blocks, all of the basic things that you would need for a defender to do, he did. So yeah, I think I would definitely go with an 8. It had a lot of touches as well, so you could see that he was heavily influenced in the game, both in how we defended and how we started attacks from the back as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with 8.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with you, Gunner King. I'm going with an 8 as well. We've touched base on it. Let's move on to the other side. Quieter out of the two, Kieran Tierney. Come off injured as well, of course.
I'll go first. I'll go 6. I want to give all the back line. Actually, let's go 7 because he was part of a team that kept a clean sheet. But yeah, and again, it's actually quite nice where it's not just overly reliant on Tierney. Like we had 2 years where it's like, Tierney's not playing, we're not going to do anything. Like he's bombing up and down. Do you know what I mean? It's actually quite nice to play a game of football. He could just play, not have to drag us out. So I will give him 7. But again, not his. I think the last 2 weeks he hasn't been the Tierney of what we know he can be, but we know it's there. I'm not worried about Tierney at all in the slightest. So I'll give a 7 because he was part of the back four that kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, okay, King.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Gumza. I would have gone. I would say, yeah, the other defenders seem to have more of an impact on the game defensively. But yeah, I mean, he obviously was part of the unit and kept a clean sheet. I do think, yeah, that he didn't look like the Tierney of old a bit in some parts, but yeah, like what he brings to that back line is leadership. So yeah, I think you could definitely see that. He seems to be extremely vocal of all of the defenders. So yeah, I'd give him a 7 for that reason.
Do you know what's quite funny? Sorry, just quickly. Within 2 weeks, he's gone from the youngest of the back 5 to the oldest.
I know, yeah, crazy.
You think with Mari, Bellerin, and Holding and Leno all older than him, so he's gone from the youngest to the oldest in 2 weeks. So
that shout for the armband is starting to adjust really. I'm going to echo you guys. You solved me. I'm going 7. Ben White, go on, King.
I think 7 as well. I think, look, we can pinpoint that error with the back pass and say he should have done better there. Would I use that to discredit the other, the rest of the 90 minutes where he was very good? No, I think he was very good on the ball. He was helping us get the ball forward as well from the back a lot. And yeah, like anything that Gabriel wasn't winning or wasn't first to, he was there, when he was called upon. And you know what? In the last 15 or 20 minutes, he was winning headers of his own as well, in the box. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, you're right, because I would say, obviously, he made the mistake there. In another game, it could have been costly. But it didn't like deter him. He just carried on doing what he was doing. So yeah, I agree with you there. I would give him a 7 as well. Gumza?
Yeah, I'm going to go 7 just because I scored Tierney up a bit because we didn't concede. There was once or twice he dropped a bit deeper than the back line stuff. Is once I think everyone went to kind of play outside and he dropped. So just those little things, but it will come with time. And again, for him, he's probably got the most pressure out of everyone on his shoulders because of the price tag. So yeah, he's probably got a bit of a harder job than the rest. But yeah, so I'm happy with him, to be fair. Like, as Chris said, he's doing everything else right. It's just, yeah, so again, we don't nitpick the attacking players like that. No, if you look at the attacking players' misplaced passes, it's probably 3 times the amount as the defence. And we don't really call them out on it because it doesn't result in a goal or a chance. So, yeah, I'm happy to give him a 7.
Yeah, there was actually a ball I can remember. He's long ball over the top. I think a bad man mistouched it was a terrible touch. Gabriel.
9. 9 man of the match.
One of the contenders.
9 man of the match. Stop saying anything else. That's me done. You're not going to talk.
9 done. Right, okay, King.
I'll go with that. Yeah, he was immense. Yeah, and as you said, yeah, people will say it's only Burnley. But yeah, as I said earlier in the program, it's what Burnley do and it's what they're very good at. Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes are 2 of the most proficient strikers winning the ball aerially. And in terms of the physical presence that they bring, it's difficult enough facing up against one of them. But these guys pocketed both of them.
Yeah.
And Gabriel was the mainstay of that happening, I think, because he was the one that was brought in to meet them in the air and to win all of his duels. Him and Tomiyasu in the air just shows for relatively little experience, both as defenders and in the Premier League, to be doing that. Very encouraging signs.
But I've been outvoted here because he's not my man of the match. He's one of the contenders, but I can't give the man of the match higher than a 9, so I'm giving him an 8.5. But because you two said 9, he has got a 9. Obviously, we just touched on Thomas Partey. So what score are we giving Partey?
9.
Yeah.
8.9. No, he's a 9. He was a 9 as well. Him and Gabriel, different level yesterday. Saturday, you saw their quality. We spoke about him earlier, and yeah, hopefully we can keep him fit, but definitely a 9. He was brilliant.
Yeah, okay, well, I've been outvoted 8.5. He is one of the contenders, but not for me. It's the next man for me, Martin Odegaard. After what I've said to him last week, I have to give it to him this week. I'm giving him a 9. I just love what I saw from him, from our half to their half to the free kick, everything he's done in the game. It blew my mind. So I'm giving Odegaard a 9. Boys, who wants to go first? Out of you two?
Go on.
Yeah, in terms of Odegaard, this has been for me the in an attacking sense the signing that's excited me the most. Ever since he came on loan, I think he was judged a bit harshly when he got injured, and then when he came back, our strikers weren't fit. We weren't doing well, sort of in the league. But I've said it all along. A lot of people talk about our fortune changing last season when Smith Rowe was put into the side. Not near enough talking is done about him also coming in January. And yeah, I think, he really delivered in this game. Match winner. And yeah, as you said as well, he was in that 8 position, was able to, to contribute to winning the ball, intercepting passes, as well as starting attacks with his passing and his dribbling as well. So yeah, immense talent we got on our hands. As I said, he can play as a 10, a bit more advanced. He can play on the right as a narrow kind of inverted winger or a forward. So yeah, he offers us all kinds of options, and I'm looking forward to seeing him do really well this season.
Great stuff. Thumbs up.
To be fair, I wasn't going to go 9, but after hearing you two talk, actually, do you know what? He does deserve a 9. His performance was good. As said, getting on the ball in the deeper areas and playing forward, getting us up the pitch was brilliant. And that's what I've been crying out for that for weeks, saying I feel sorry for our strikers previously because the ball doesn't get there. whereas actually the ball was getting there a lot more from him being deeper. And then again, I started to listen to what you're saying, start reflecting on his game. He pulled off the one magical moment in the game, which gave us the 3 points. And also, actually, his pressing is ridiculous sometimes. Like he tracks down 3 balls like prime Alexis and Ramsey, when they used to just go hunting. And he starts our press a lot and gets us up the pitch. So actually, I will give him a 9. So sometimes it's not what he does on the ball, but actually just them little things he does enables us to get out of the pitch a bit more. So I think he does deserve a 9 then. I would rather one of my defensive players get the man of the match, but I wouldn't argue if Odegaard did get it. So I'm happy to take Tony. You go to you, mate. It's your show. You're the leader.
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone with Gabriel, but yeah, by the same token, I'm not going to argue either.
But I mean, if Partey carried on for 15 minutes to the end of the game, then he probably would have had a great shout. Now that the score's going to start coming down a little bit now, I feel. Let's try and do this as quick as we can. Let's do 30 seconds each. Emil Smith-Rowe, go King.
I think 6.5. I think I think in this game, Odegaard was the better of the two in the centre there, but also I think there'll be other games where he improves, and I think working out that partnership with Odegaard as well, and Partey is going to take some time. But I didn't really see him have, a measured kind of impact or a sustained impact on the game. But this again, this is part of his development curve where we've got to play him, we've got to trust him, we've got to put our arms around his shoulder and just watch. He's going to have a big season as well.
Yeah, Gamza?
7. Phil. Again, it's maybe my coaching head. I'd like to see him get chances. Yes, he's missing them, but actually, it's more concerning if he's not getting in them positions and getting shots off. So I'm not going to score him down for not taking a chance, because we see Messi misses chances, Aguero misses chances, everyone misses chances. Arsenal have this notion of if a player misses one shot, they're not good, or I see Salah have 10 chances a game and score 1 or 2. Actually, I'm more impressed that he's getting them opportunities now. And if 6 fall to him, he will score 2. And it makes a big difference. The more we create, the more we will end up scoring. So actually, it's a good thing to see him getting in them positions more often than not now and actually getting shots off. Ramsey was a guy who missed chances, but he would score 1 or 2. But he would have 6, 7 shots. So, I think Smith-Rowe, he's doing very, very well. I love the guy. My birthday twin, so he's my boy. And I'll always back him. I'd always overscore him as well. So he gets 7 from me.
No, do you know what? I hear that. And that chance here, but it just went over the bar. If that had gone, then his score probably would have been bumped up. 7's fair. He done what he does. I think he done a decent job, to be honest. 7's fair. Bukayo Saka.
6 from me.
Yeah.
I think, I'll wrap up I'll do all for my front three. All of them will get 6. Worked hard. Just that little cutting edge wasn't there. For me, Saka's a 6.
Yeah.
You got all 3 of them 6.
Yeah, I'd say all 3 of them for me will be 6.
Yeah, all 3 of them 6. All right, all 3 of them, King. What are you going for?
I think quite similar, myself, These guys, I think Saka still has got ring rust from the Euros, but also the fact that he played in the international games that we recently had as well. So I think we just need to manage him carefully, because I feel similar with Smith-Rowe as well. These guys, I've said all along, they are going to need to be rotated a bit, and I think Saka's influence in the game waned a bit as it went on. Aubameyang didn't have a great deal of chances to take, really. That's not necessarily all on him as well. But I'd agree with what Gums has said. Yeah,
I would. I'd have to go 6 for. I might even go lower for Pepe. If I'm honest, maybe like a 5.5. It's just his first touch for me for the game was just I think we need to drop him.
With what Gumza was saying about Smith Rowe, though, like I'd be discouraged if he wasn't threatening.
Yeah,
positions,
true.
getting into positions.
Maybe I'm being harsh.
The main thing that's concerning me with Pepe is the shooting at the moment, because he's getting in good shooting opportunities and he's not hitting the target.
No.
But yeah.
Wait, maybe. Look, we saw the best of Pepe was on the left, and we see the best of Saka when he's on the right for England. Maybe just give that a go. And yeah, Aubameyang, it's too quiet for me. 6. I'm not saying he's gone. It's going to take a big game where he scores, and that's it. Onto the subs quick. Well, we can do it really quickly because they weren't on for long. Sambi Lokonga. Well, he was on for half an hour actually, and when he came on, he just looked Sambi Lokonga, didn't he? He looked good. Quick score for Lokonga.
I feel harsh giving more than a 6, but I think he deserved the 7. I think he was tidy.
I agree.
As I said, him and Maitland-Niles come on, they settled the game right down for me. Like they really settled it down. So I'll go 7 actually. I think he's good. Very good.
Score.
I was going to go with 6.5 or 7 as well because I agree with what Gumza said. I think they brought a bit of order and fresh impetus to the central midfield when both of those guys come on. So I'd give them both the same.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll do 7. We'll do 7 for both of them. Tavares, he played for 12 minutes. Didn't really do much.
He's exciting though. I do like watching him.
That he did pick up the ball and he just drove into their half and just like.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
And the other one when he hung out on the left and he put Saka in, and Saka had a bad touch. Like again, it wasn't on long, but just them little moments, them little cameos show me. Yeah, he's gonna be quite frightening down that left. He's gonna create a lot of havoc when he kicks in. So give him a 6. It wasn't long on the pitch, but very bright when he came on.
Yeah, we'll give him a 6. Do you agree with that one, Chris? We'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I think so.
And then last, not least, Mikel Arteta, the manager.
I'm going to score him high.
Huh?
I'm going to score him high.
Go on then.
I'm going to give him a 9.
Ooh.
Yeah, and again, defensively, we were very strong against a strong Burnley team. 2 strikers who, when we played against Bournemouth, for 2 strikers, we struggled. Not Bournemouth, sorry. We're talking about what's their names? Brentford.
Brentford, yeah.
Yeah, they played 2 strikers and bullied us, and we got it right this time. Attacking is the best football I've seen us play for a long time, playing from the back. Again, if the front 3 are firing, all of a sudden that 1-0 turns into 3 or 4, and it's a completely different story. And I think he made the right changes at the right time, because when the game could have got away from us, bringing on those 2, and they're young, and Maitland-Niles hasn't played midfield much for us, so it's a risk bringing both of them on in there. Normally we'd see El Nene and Kolasinac or someone like, do you know what I mean? Those kind of players come on to bring on 3 youngsters and actually settle the game down. Like, I think the changes were the right changes at the right time for us. So I think you can only judge it on one game, but from what I saw on Saturday, he got everything right.
Okay, fair enough, King.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with that. Yeah, I would have said an 8, but I think he went bold, as we said, with leaving Lokonga on the bench. And I like the fact that he wanted to go bold, because the biggest criticism of him has been being a bit too conservative and pragmatic, not going at teams. So I can see why Gums has gone with his score.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, I have to agree with you. To be honest, I was impressed with the lineup. I was surprised, but I was impressed, and it worked. And that's all you can ask for. Let's just hope there's rumours that Leno could be back for Tottenham.
Leno can play Wednesday.
If you do that, the time Ramsdale's had, and then Xhaka's obviously going to be coming back.
No, Xhaka's not suspended for 2 games.
No, because the League Cup game will count, won't it?
Cup, yeah.
Counts as his first.
Oh, no.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So for me, you rotate.
Let's put a positive spin to it. Let's put a bit of a positive spin to it. If we beat Spurs, we're level on points on them. And do you remember them not? when we lost our
Few
first
weeks
three
ago.
games.
August
Where are you now,
champions.
boys?
Champions. Yeah. I hope there's PAXTON load lot of watching, man. They see this
And
later.
hopefully,
Yeah.
obviously, we're
See
playing
you at
this
the
week, so we
Emirates.
might have them.
Yeah.
We might have them on the channel this week. Nothing's been arranged yet, but
I'm
hopefully
ready
it's
for it.
sorted. Catch the breakdown later tonight or tomorrow. Gummers trying to
Could be tonight.
out.
Yeah.
Gunner King's Court will be returning soon. We're trying to think of what we're going to do with that. We've got the previews and the reaction to the Wimbledon game. Just let's do us a favor. Just that button down there, subscribe, give it a hit. And also, while you're down there, give us a like. Go on, King. You were about to say something.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, no, I was just going to say, yeah, it's good to be back. And yeah, just
Great to have you back.
Just a message to those those boys at Paxton Road. Yeah. Just be ready. Be ready, yeah, because I think it's been a while since they've won at the Emirates Stadium, right? What was it, like 2010?
Come join us, boys. Come join us. Talk about the game.
Some old time.
The invite is there.
But
we've called you out. Answer the call. Anyway, let's wrap this up, boys. It was longer than we thought because obviously we did the review and the play ratings. And yeah, I think for now we'll say goodbye.